We have a huge Red Sox trade update as a report reveals a massive trade coming for the Boston Red Sox as they have been linked and are now in discussions with the Arizona Diamondbacks for starting pitcher Merrill Kelly. We'll give you the latest Red Sox trade news right here on Red Sox Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to the show. As always, if you are new here or you are part of the 82.4% that are not yet subscribed that watch these videos, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. It's 100% free. And when the Red Sox do make a trade, we are going to have it out to you here first on Red Sox Digest. We've been talking about Merrill Kelly a lot, and now the Red Sox are officially in discussions with the D-backs for a potential trade. And this is not a shocker. He would be a solid number two. And even Jonathan Papelbon, a guy who is a former Red Sox player now in the media realm, he said this: "Can anyone explain to me why Merrill Kelly is not a Red Sox player yet?" No, can't tell you, Jonathan. Cannot tell you, Pap. I would love to have Merrill Kelly for a multitude of different reasons. Let's take a quick look at his stats. A 3.22 ERA, a 1.057 whip. Very good numbers for a number two starter. Big things that stand out to me: 121 strikeouts to 98 hits allowed. He has 128.2 innings pitched. He's a little bit on the older side going, in his age 36 season. He is a rental option for the Boston Red Sox as he does not have a contract after this season. His hits per nine at a 6.9 is also really, really solid. If you look at the Red Sox rotation as it stands right now, Garrett Crochet at the helm, positioning himself as the ace. Then at the number two, it's kind of a question mark between Brayan Bello and Lucas Giolito. Merrill Kelly would immediately put his name into that hat and potentially become a solid number two for the Red Sox. And at that point, your rotation becomes Garrett Crochet, Merrill Kelly, Brayan Bello, Lucas Giolito. And then at that fifth slot, it's a combination of, if Kyle Harrison is ready, what happens to Walker Buehler and his starts that he's been having lately? Is Richard Fitz in the conversation to come back from AAA? There's a couple of different guys that could fill that role, but Merrill Kelly needs to be added to this roster, and it seems as though Craig Breslow is doing all that he can. Looking at the Baseball Savant page for Merrill Kelly, he has been a great value player for the Boston Red Sox. A 3.22 ERA, and then his expected ERA, it's about the 45th percentile. His chase rate is high, his ground ball rate is high, his walk rate is low. That is all good stuff. His K rate is also at a decent percentage. The thing that stands out to me and why the Red Sox are probably going to be very interested in him and why they have shown that they're already in discussions is because of his changeup being his primary pitch. You got a changeup four-seam mix. He mixes in the cutter, a sinker, has a curve, and then a slider as well. Very solid six-pitch mix, and we know the Red Sox like pitchers with good changeups. We've seen them even work on changeup and make them even better. We talk about Brayan Bello and his growth in his changeup this season. Merrill Kelly could easily be kind of a second guy to kind of add on to that, and you're having some heat with Garrett Crochet, and to some extent we're talking about, our bullpen with Aroldis Chapman, Jordan Hicks, and then you've got a little bit more of some finesse. I'm not saying they can't throw heat, but more finesse with the Merrill Kellys, the Lucas Giolitos, the Brayan Bellos. So it would be a fun time. Plus Kyle Harrison does have some heat as well. Would like to see maybe him come out there. His fastball is a big reason why he was in the majors when we traded for him with the San Francisco Giants. And right now, I would actually like to see him in the rotation more than probably Walker Buehler at this point. But going back to Merrill Kelly, he fits the Red Sox rotational needs to an exact T, and I don't think he would cost all that much. Now, we do know that the Red Sox are willing and ready to make a trade because we have a report earlier today talking about this Arizona Diamondbacks team, and they do have Zach Gallen. We've also mentioned Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates, but Merrill Kelly seems to be the prized possession, and I would certainly rather him over Gallen or Mitch Keller. Now, one MLB evaluator suggested that the Red Sox are, quote, clearly not done, and they have enough prospect depth to make any deal. So that is going to be something that we sit here and understand. The Red Sox, they're not holding back. They're ready to trade, and they have prospects to do so. Now let's look at Merrill Kelly's season totals here. I'm going to have to kind of scooch in here to kind of look in at all these stats and make sure I have them correct. But the things that I look at the most that we didn't see on previous stat sheets, the FIP, that is a big contributor to if your ERA is actually supposed to be where it's at or maybe should be a little higher. In previous seasons, his FIP being at like a 4 last season, probably probably a little bit higher, but a 3.53 FIP is a great one to have when you're talking about expected ERA. His whip is at its lowest it's been since his 2020 campaign. And then we talk about everything else that he's had this season. It's definitely a good year. Plus, you talk about the innings he's been able to do after last year only pitching 73. This year, he's got over 128, allowing just 53 runs. It is a very good trade. Plus 121 strikeouts. He is probably to one of the best forms he's been in the past couple years. And the number 2 starter is what we're looking for. And tell me how this does not fit a number 2 starter. It fits it perfectly. A 3.2 WAR player this year, 9 wins, 6 losses. I don't care about that. He's with the Diamondbacks. It's not what the Red Sox. Wins and losses are not a pitching stat. But a 3.22 ERA pops him right in to that number 2, number 3 slot. Obviously started in 22 games already this season. Has had really good control in all of them and really been more impressive to me than Zach Gallen. Yes, Gallen is younger. Yes, Gallen has the previous Cy Young. But for a rental option, I'm not trying to go get Gallen and fix him in the 2 months we have. I'm trying to get a guy that is happening and helping us right now, not later, right now. 121 strikeouts in the season from Merrill Kelly and a 1.057 whip. Now, I mentioned Zach Gallen. I will talk about him just a moment because he is the other Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher that is on the market. But if you look at the Baseball Savant page, it is not something that I want to try and work on. It's literally just what I said. He is a guy where if you maybe signed him this offseason with a better deal and you're not trading anybody for him, I would be more open to that. If you trade somebody for a guy who has a 5.60 ERA, has shown no signs of growth throughout this entire season, and has flat out just looked bad, and you try and fix him in 2 months when you're trying to go to the postseason and win postseason games for the first time since 2021, I do not like that. I do not want that. And please, for the love of God, do not trade for Zach Gallen. Now, the question you're asking, what would be the return package for Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen? Well, I would have to think it might be in the upper parts of prospects. We do have to look at the prospect list that we have on 10 through 18. We obviously know that Blaze Jordan was moved in the Steven Matz deal, but I would be more comfortable with moving a David Sandlin type over to the Arizona Diamondbacks rather than any of our top 10 prospects, quote-unquote Franklin Arias. We're not going to move Peyton Tolley, it sounds like. There's a couple of guys at the top that basically seem like they're untouchable, but they have mentioned Franklin Arias. If a big deal comes, they would move him. I'm sitting here and looking at it and saying, okay, we'll give you David Sandlin and Hayden Mullins and make the deal. You're getting a righty and a lefty pitcher, and you're going to be fine with that, right? You got a double-A guy and a triple-A guy. Sandlin was actually just moved up a triple-A, so kind of a very new triple-A guy. But, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Merrill Kelly, obviously, a trade could be happening at any moment at this point. The trade deadline is looking like we're about an hour and 45 minutes away from it, and the Red Sox still have not made a move. Craig Breslow, I'm talking to you and you only. I swear if you do not make a trade, I might have a mental breakdown. We need to make something happen. This is the best team we've had in 4 years, and I need some October baseball, but that needs to be helped by the trade deadline, and we cannot sit on our hands for another year. That's all I got to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is Merrill Kelly a guy that you would want to see on the Boston Red Sox roster? Is Merrill Kelly a guy that you think the Red Sox should go after? Let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll see you next time here on Red Sox Digest. Peace out, guys.